up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today's video, I kind of just wanted to talk about why I chose, let's go this way, why I chose a 600 as my second motorcycle. Now, when I first started riding, it was about 4 years ago. And I started on a 400cc single cylinder. It was a, what the hell? It was a Husqvarna Spartpillin. It was a naked bike. And when I first started, I actually really liked that bike. But I kind of outgrew it really quick, you know. I outgrew it really quick. It just didn't have enough power, honestly. But I got pretty bored of it. So I had it for 3 years. And I just started to slowly find myself not really riding as much. It just became kind of boring for me. After 3 years, you know, I was riding it maybe once a month at one point. There's a cop right there. Here. As I was saying, I was riding it maybe once a month, and right when we found out that my wife was pregnant with our third child, I decided I wanted to move up to something a little more interesting, something that'll keep my attention for longer. And I did a lot of research, and eventually I ended up on the ZX6R. You know, I did quite a bit of research. At the time, the R9 hadn't come out yet, but it was gonna come out in a few months, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to wait for that or jump on this. I also looked at the CBR, the Honda 600. That one was pretty nice. I liked a lot of the features that it had. But at the end of the day, you know, the Honda is just a little bit outdated, honestly. Felt like they hadn't really touched it. And then the Suzuki, I mean, I didn't even consider it, honestly. Wow, it's beautiful. And just something about the look of the ZX6R really drew me in. I'm not gonna lie, I really liked the green one. So this is a 2025. And I really liked the green model. But I ended up going with the gray and black. Mostly because my wife liked it more. But I did take off the blue decals on this one. Why did I go with the 636? Why didn't I go for something bigger, or why did I even go for a sport bike at all? Ah, shit. Well, I drove a lot from So I live in Maricopa, or I live in Casa Grande now, but I used to live in Maricopa, and I worked out here in Casa Grande. This is Arizona, outskirts of Phoenix. So I was driving out here. I used to work at Lucid, this factory out here, Lucid. So it's about a 30-minute drive, and you do get on the highway for it. So that little Husky, the 400 naked bike, did not do highway speeds very well. It was very narrow, you know. It was just as tall as this bike, same seat height, but it was very narrow, and then the wheelbase was very short, so it just felt like such a small bike. You know, I really liked it, but it's just underpowered. It felt very weak on the highway. And it was actually, honestly, just difficult to drive on the highway. It wasn't very fun. So I wanted something bigger. I wanted something with a little bit of wind protection. But I'm not quite old enough for a cruiser yet. Something fun too, a little bit peppy. But I'm not really a super fast rider. I don't drive like an asshole most of the time. Oh, this used to be a Lucid site here, actually. Yeah, right here. This used to be a Lucid site. They used to have the cars parked back there. Lucid is Arizona-based, Saudi Arabian-funded, pretty much owned car company, electric car company. Doesn't really compete with Tesla. They're more a luxury brand, Lucid is, but it's electric cars. Yeah, this used to be one of their sites. They used to have all those cars parked back there. But, sorry for the tirade. Yeah, I did a lot of research to come on this bike. And for the most part, I've been really happy with this bike. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's very nice to drive on the highway. I took it on a 300-mile trip up to Show Low, Arizona, and I drove with my wife on the back, actually. So, and she did just fine. I mean, the bike rode amazing. And then I didn't want to go with something bigger than this 600, not yet anyway. I wanted to get better throttle control, and honestly, I don't know if I even want all that power, not at this moment. Like, I don't go crazy fast. I kind of enjoy the low-end stuff, the torque. I love the look of the sport bike, and this bike just looks so aggressive. And I tell you, when I first sat on this bike, because I was used to a naked sitting upright, I knew what I was getting into. I knew I was going to have to lean forward, you know, and squeeze my legs, hug them against the tank. I was going to be hunched over a bit. But the first time I sat on this was after I bought it. I knew I wanted it. The first time I ever sat on this bike was when I bought it. I was driving it home, and you know, it doesn't really matter like who told you what position you need to be in for this, or what it's going to feel like. You really won't know until you sit on it, and You're not going to know. And I wouldn't judge too quickly if you like it or not. Honestly, some people say if you sit on it and you don't like it, you know, go with something else. I wouldn't even go off of that. I would give it a few weeks. It took me maybe 2 weeks to really start to like driving this. You know, I thought it was cool looking, but every time I drove it for the first week, I was just, you know, I'm like, maybe this is a mistake. But once you get real comfortable with it, it's actually a lot of fun to drive, and it's not as bad as you would think. And the comfort levels, it really is comfortable once you get up and going. Low speeds can be a little bit challenging. I just really, when I'm going low speeds, doing U-turns and stuff in the parking lot or wherever, I have to consciously tell myself, like, squeeze the tank. And that just takes the pressure off your wrists and stuff. So if you've never driven a sport bike before, you'll know that the seating position can be a little bit uncomfortable if you're not used to it. But I'll say over the last year that I've owned this bike, I got it last year in May, so it's going to be a year here, I have lost a lot of weight, and I've ridden quite a bit, you know, several times a week to and from work, which I don't work very far anymore because now I live here in Casa Grande. I thought this was a dirt road, honestly. It's paved. They just paved it. Huh. Yeah, it just gets more and more comfortable as you drive it. I'll say that much. The power, it's perfect amount of power in my opinion. Feels great, you know. I'm never gonna go, I don't think I'll ever go over 150 miles an hour. That's crazy. Oh, those pops. I don't have a tune on this yet, but I do have that slip on. It's Aero Titanium. It sounds amazing. I'd like to get this thing tuned, honestly. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I had to say. So if you are thinking about getting your first bike or your second bike, I mean, I think you could start on this as a first bike, but as a second bike, it's perfect. It is perfect. If you're moving up from a 400 or a Ninja 650 or something, this bike is perfect. I don't know if you'll ever get bored of it. I don't know if I'll ever get bored of it. But, I mean, you know, I've looked at some of the Litre bikes. I really like the ZX10. And then, you know, I almost traded this one in during all that recall drama. I really was kind of put off from this bike. And that first recall came right after that long trip. So on that 400-mile trip up north, and then the recall came, and then the second recall. But I gotta say, after the recall service, everything's worked just fine. This bike has been perfect. Haven't had a single issue with it. If anything, it's running better than when I got it. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. Oh, you're still here? Go home. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the way out.